Nicks and bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black, it's time. I got my guy Sim in the building.
It's good.
We talk about some Knicks news right before the season kickoff.
No
Um,
doubt.
what up, Sim?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Excited for Tuesday night. Can't wait. You know what I mean? Knicks versus Boston. Yeah, it's time to get busy. Can't wait.
I ain't even gonna lie, Sim. I'm excited, but I'm bummed out at the same time. I don't know what my mind was thinking, but I thought the game was Wednesday,
Mm.
so I gotta work. I
Oh
gotta
man,
close. I got
it's
a
been
bum. I got a
yo,
bum.
it's been a tough schedule, bro. It's been a tough schedule. Like that's why I'm not doing the home opener because my schedule is so crazy with just business picking up. But I'm looking to do the 28th and 30th. The Knicks gonna be in DC. I'm looking to have something going on then, but schedules is wild nowadays.
Yeah, I think one of those days is the Monday. That's the one I'm gonna try to. I'm sorry, Saturday, right? I think so.
Uh,
I'm
I think so. Maybe a Thursday and a Saturday.
Thursday and Sat.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know.
One of them days I'm trying to get to. So I'm gonna make one of them. I ain't gonna do both. But yeah, man. This we haven't really broke it down and talked about much for a minute. You know what I mean? Shamit's injury. We didn't
Mm,
know the severity of that.
mhm.
Obviously, we speculated or knew it was a separated shoulder. There's a large timeline that comes with that. The Knicks waived him. They waived him. They waived T.J. Warren. They waived who's the other guy? They waived. They waived three guys. Okiki. How could I forget? That was my guy. I was excited when we picked him up. Let's and then Precious. Precious hamstring. He's out 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
So, how do we fill the void of Shamit, who we assumed was gonna make the roster and was gonna be a part of the rotation, and then Precious, who I feel like was the guy from the bench that was definitely gonna have the most minutes. You know what I mean? At the back of four, the back of five, um, brings that energy. Luckily, gratefully, it's only 2 to 4 weeks. But how do you think we fill those voids?
I got
Before
a
you answer that, let me ask you this: do you think we look outside of the current roster construction to fill the voids, or you know what I mean? Do the rookies get the opportunity? Because that's the focal point of the show tonight, the rookies.
Dottie.
But Dadier,
I think he's gonna play. I feel
he,
like
sh-
he's gonna play.
he
I feel like
showed
he's
out.
gonna play. He can shoot it. He's got to work on his defense a little bit, but he can shoot the ball. He's got so he's 6'8", right? Like like um Precious. He can shoot the ball. He can shoot it off screens. He can catch and shoot. He can slash to the basket. So
It's
he
a
can do
great
some of
cutter.
those things that Shamit does. Listen, he's gonna have a lot to learn, but I think he might get some playing time.
Do
I
you
really
think?
do.
Do you think it's by necessity? Um, and or do you think it's based off the brief performances we've seen? He didn't play the first what 3 games. Came in game four, 16 in the third quarter. All 16 of his points in the third quarter showed out, showed the shooting touch. And there's like I'm conflicted, like because we know Tibbs and we know what he likes to do.
Yeah.
And if you haven't earned your way into that circle, he's gonna play them starters heavy
I
minutes.
I I
He's
feel
gonna
that.
ride the top seven.
There's
We're,
something
we're, we're
I
precious. And
yeah, I feel like he has a nice feel for the game. It's something about when he's on the floor. For me, when I'm seeing him out there on the floor, uh, through people penetrating to the basket, whatever, the ball finds its way to him. Maybe it's because he's a rookie and nobody pays attention to him, but the ball finds its way to him and he's able to score it. You know what I mean? I think the kid has a chance to play with Precious out, with On Landry out, I think he's going to have a chance to play. Jericho Sims obviously is going to play. Huck Porty might get some burn. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be Dadier and Huck Porty.
And
It could also, Tyler could see some playing time, but I feel like with having Campaign out there, um, Dadier might be the better fit because he's an off the ball shooter. He's a guy that can play off the ball more
so,
than
so,
Tyler.
slow down, slow down, Sim. I know we gotta get off by 8, but because there's a case for all guys, all three rookies to play. To be honest, right? Um, I like Dadier as well. Um, 19 years old, so great upside. You know what I mean? Great potential. For the long run. Like if I had to pick one of the three, I
Mhm.
think Hukporty probably has the best shot, and I say that because he's probably the most polished defensively. Um, he's playing the backup center, right? Which we know Precious was gonna play. Um, so I think those two reasons give him the edge. But I think, like to your point, I like that Dadier, and everybody knows how I feel about Kolick from the beginning. So I think there's a case for everybody. Um, but if there's only one, you're going Dadier.
I'm going Dadier. I'm going Dadier because I feel like Jericho Sims can be out there and do rebounding and some blocking shots a little bit. Um, the shooting is something that I think is important. Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about Shamit's loss, and you know what I mean, not necessarily Precious, but Shamit's loss. Yeah, I think I think it's crazy because the show was supposed to be really about the rookies and why long term the Knicks are built for the present and the future,
Hmm.
and this was supposed to be about how you know we don't have to rush these guys; they could slowly develop. I mentioned Dadier being 19 and him having the longest window to develop and the least amount of pressure, but now the circumstances, kind of changed it because now I feel like we're down bodies. You know what I mean? We're down. And my bad. TJ Warren was the guy that I thought we was gonna bring back, but yeah, we're down bodies. So by necessity, I think we these guys are gonna play. Um, Tyler probably is the bottom of the totem pole, and not because of talent, but just because he lacks the size, and we're missing. We were already small, you know what I mean, with 1 7 footer. Um, yeah, I think 6'8" Dadier, 6'11" Huckporty. You know what I mean? Like I think those guys are going to be more of a necessity. Couple things I wanted to. I got some screenshots I wanted to read. Um, TJ Warren got waived, but he's going to be playing with the G League team. And I think I spoke to you about this off air with my belief that he would go to the G League.
Hmm.
and,
Hmm.
and it was a way for the Knicks to kind of monitor him and keep him on in their back pocket. Um the decision to waive Shamit, I think we talked about that off air as well. Um Leaving that roster spot open in case something develops, and still kind of having him in the back pocket, knowing that he's not going to sign with another team while he's recovering and rehabbing.
Right.
So he's not really a risk to be lost.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But they keep their options open. Right now, they got 12 roster spots, um, standard contracts. I think you have to have 14, but they have a window of 28 days before they have to have 14.
Mhm.
and they can't go 14 consecutive days without having 14 standard contracts.
Right.
So at the earliest, you know what I mean, from Tuesday on 14 days they can go without signing anybody, just riding out with the 12 guys. And you know, if somehow they pick somebody up on a non-guaranteed, then waive them, this and that, they could stretch it out to up to 28 days. Um that's not a lot of time, but it
Mhm.
does buy them some time to one, see where Shamit is with his recovery before they make a decision on him, because they can't sign two vet minimums. They can only sign one. When otherwise it got to be like a rookie scale minimum. So they so that's Shamit 2.1 million, TJ Warren if they bring him up 2.1 million. They have about 3.5, 3.6 I think under the second apron. So
Mhm.
that gives them about another $1 million to kind of 1.5 to kind of work with after they either sign TJ Warren or Shamit. Do you think 28 days is enough time to give Shamit to kind of see where he is and make a decision?
I don't think so.
You,
28
you,
days? I don't know.
you know, that's just over 3 weeks, not quite 4 weeks. I think
And
the
I think if they
recovery is 4 to 8.
yeah, if they make a decision at that time, it's gonna I don't know. I don't think so. Then
So
again,
what? Got
so I mean, is he waived?
he's waived.
Right.
Even though I did read Ian Begley said they have until January something, I believe, to kind of make a decision on him. I don't know what he was referencing in that point, but he is waived.
Right. Okay. They'll look to bring him back. Yeah.
So in the meantime, I think one of our two-way guys gets signed because they'll be about $1 million, and then they'll have that other 2.6 or whatever to go ahead and get either Shamit or TJ Warren.
Right.
Um or someone else at a veteran minimum.
Right.
That might do you think that's the right decision? Letting TJ, not signing him now, leaving that spot open, buying,
Um,
using all that time that they have.
yeah, I do. Because just I was there the other day and just watching TJ and just in my eyes, he looks like an old man out there on the
Mm.
floor. The speed is it don't look like he can keep up with the speed. I don't see him playing, you know. He tries to be active, but I don't see him really being active. Not with your prime time players. You know what I mean? So I think yeah, I don't think I'm okay on that.
All
Right.
right. Well, there's a list of guys that are currently available. Obviously, I don't know how long they'll be available. Maybe these guys get picked up, within the first couple of weeks of the season. I'm gonna throw some names out there, and you let me know what you think. Number one on the list, I've seen it all throughout Twitter, all throughout Bleacher Report chats. Celtics just waived him. Lonnie Walker. I believe you were high on him in the past.
Yeah, I like Lonnie Walker. I mean, I haven't seen him play much recently.
I
Um,
think
I
he was
thought
in Brooklyn last year, right? I think he shot 40% from three last year, or at least from like the corners and catch and shoot.
mhm,
But historically, he's not a great 3-point shooter. But
right.
other than that, he's a defender. He's a scorer.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I thought he was gonna do great with Pop. I thought Pop was gonna turn him into, you know, a starter in this league. I'm not gonna say all-star, but I thought he was gonna turn him into a starter in this league. He's still kinda young. You know what I mean? Bring him in and maybe he can find a role. I could see Lonnie Walker finding a role with this team. Yeah, I
Oh,
think. Let me see the bench
he's
right now.
undersized too. That's the other thing. But so is Shaman, and he was running Shaman at the 3.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah,
could run Shaman at the 3, I think you could run Lonnie at the 3, being a defender.
yeah. I mean, you got to fill out. You got to fill out the squad. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think they fill it out with contracts that they can easily move. So that they can bring in the players that they want if they can't find them right now. I mean, but I honestly though, I think Deuce, campaign, Jericho Sims. I think Dottier is gonna get some burn. I think Dottier is gonna play. He's 6'8". I mean, Tibbs could decide to go with 8 players. You're gonna put a lot of pressure on your guys
Top
early.
5
So
for sure.
I think you got to go with Dottier and let him get some burn out there. You know, he's 6'8". So you keep that length. He's very versatile. And then maybe if you want to go 10, you throw Tyler in there too. You know,
All right, I'm gonna run through these names quick. You just say yeah or nay, unless you got more to say on them. Got once a Nick, always a Nick. There's rumors that people in the organization still high on him, or high on bringing him back. Marcus Morris.
oh yeah, I do that all day,
Um,
all day. I
are
bring him
you
back.
waiting on Shamit's progress, or are you making that move to have him here now?
I guess it's so hard to say because I haven't seen Shaman like in practice, this and that. I don't.
I mean,
I know.
he ain't practice. He got a rehab for 1 month, 1 to 2 months minimum. Honestly, I feel like Shamit is done, at least for this season, and I'm only basing that off of Randall. Like a known, like we know how his work ethic is, we know how tough he is. You know what I mean? Like it looked like the same injury.
Right.
And they're saying he's, quote unquote, attempting to rehab it, which is the same thing they said about Randall. So that's the only reason why I feel like, um, they're gonna take care of him. They're gonna give him the medical support and everything, but he would have to show some drastic improvement way earlier than expected for them to kind of go ahead and sign him, or not sign someone else if need be.
Right.
But yeah, I would give it, the 3 weeks or so. I
See what the
wouldn't
progress
necessarily.
is. See what the progress is, and then make that move. Yep. But yeah, Marcus Morris, without a doubt.
uh it's a nay for me, but once a Nick, always a Nick. Dennis Smith Jr.
Nah, no.
Another nay for me is Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes. I mean, he's a guard that hasn't really produced much. There were some high expectations for him, but he hasn't produced much. Probably not. I think he can find better.
Yeah, I'll say I'll just some input on why it's an A for me is just because he like you said, the guard position. Um, even though we lost Dante, even though we lost Shaman, he's not replacing what either one of those guys does. Um, I don't think we need to bring him in for defensive purposes with Deuce here. You
Right.
know what I mean? And if I'm gonna take a flyer, I like Kolick. I like what he's shown in,
Exactly. Right.
in the time that he's been here.
Right. You got him.
Um, again, once a Nick, always a Nick. Evil Dante Malachi Flynn. That's a pass for me as well. But
I mean, yeah. That pass is not.
all right, I'm gonna run through these. Nazir Little,
Najee Little. Um,
6'7", 6'8", wing.
I think I see what Najee Little got.
and he might be in the 1 million range. So some of these guys, it's not the vet minimum. You know what I mean? It's just the minimum,
Right.
and I think he falls in there. I'm not familiar with this guy, but he's on the list. Kenny Lofton Jr. I
Um,
think he's a power forward, like an
Power
undersized
forward.
power forward.
Undersized power forward. Yep. Yep. Undersized power forward.
We got Jay Crowder,
I like Jay Crowder. Yeah,
veteran presence,
he brings some toughness, veteran
kind
presence.
of kind of in that Morris role.
Right.
I think if we're choosing between the two, I'll go Morris just because he has a history here.
Right. He's got a history.
Robin Covington, I've been bringing his name up for like 2-3 years now. Always got killed for it. I'm probably not as high as on him currently as I was in the past, but I mean he could shoot. We know that for sure, and he's a versatile wing. You know what I mean? Could play some 4, can play some 3. I wouldn't hate it because I've always been high on him. But at this point in his career, I'm not sure if he's going to be better than TJ Warren and your description of watching him live.
Right. Yeah. 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 Um.
Um, okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna. Lofton is a bully in the post. Good footwork for a big guy. I mean, he is. He's big. He's strong. You know.
He
Undersized.
played in Golden State.
I think he did. Was he drafted by Golden State? I forgot who he was drafted by, but he did play in Golden State.
I only remember him because I know he was overweight coming in the league, and then he had like a body transformation at some point, and played some good minutes. I don't remember for who. Um, who else we got? A couple more. O'Shea Brissett. I'm not familiar with him. I kind of
Okay.
remember us having draft talks about him, but I'm not familiar with who he is, to be honest. You know him?
I know of him. I can't picture watching him play.
Um, I think that's it. We got Daniel House. Nah.
Nah.
Only thing I know about him is like, wasn't he like Harden's guy? Like Harden kept bringing
Yeah.
him along with him everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh,
Daniel House.
Bismack Bismack
It wasn't Daniel House
Biyombo.
at one time.
You said Nick?
A long time ago. I thought he got traded to the Knicks, and
Maybe.
maybe that was Eddie House. There was a house that got traded to the
It
Knicks.
might have been him.
Uh-oh,
I
that was,
feel like I feel like for some reason it's like D'Antoni days.
yeah. During those days, there was a house that was traded to the Knicks, or was with the Knicks. I think he was traded. Maybe he came over in the T-Mac trade or something. I don't know. There was a house that played with the Knicks. Might have been Eddie House.
Um, so who's on the two-way right now? We got Jacob Toppin, Kevin McCullough, and Ariel Huckporty
Mm-hmm.
on the two-way contracts. Out of those 3 guys, who do you see potentially being converted into a
Say those
standard
names
contract?
again.
Jacob Toppin,
Mm-hmm.
rookie Kevin McCullough Jr., who we haven't seen in preseason at all. A lot of Josh Hart comparisons
Right.
in the draft, and then Ariel Huckporty.
Yeah.
All on two ways. You think he has the best shot of being converted
I
into
think
the
so.
standard contract?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Well, let's see. Let's talk about Bridges and that shot, man. I brought this up. I don't think we played the preseason game yet. Just from the practice
Yeah.
video,
I think
and he spoke on it too.
he'll start making the shots. I
I
think
do too.
part of the reason that it's been switched like this is because his arms are so long. And maybe they figure this is one of his best ways to get that shot off quick. Because with him having his arms here, right, it's probably taking a little bit long to get the arms out here. Where when he can catch it and come up here and use his wrist to shoot it, maybe it's helping. Maybe he gets the shot off quicker, or maybe his trainers feel he gets the shot off quicker that way. I don't know.
I don't have the quote, so I'm paraphrasing, but he spoke on it. He spoke on trying to change his shot for, you know, over the years,
Hmm.
continuously trying to get it to where it was in college. What was the quote? Um, I do think whatever he's doing is a attempt, or at least maybe it's not his intentionally, but he does have a higher release, which it looks like now than he's had in the past. Um, I've looked at some videos from the past where the hitch was a lot worse than what it is now.
Hmm.
Um, I agree with you. I do think the shots will start to fall, but I ain't gonna lie. Watching the last game where he was over 10 for 3, before the stat line was like, publicized and people was making such a big deal of it. Just watching the game, like you could hear every shot was like dunk, dunk.
Right.
Like, them just was bricks for real.
Yeah.
Oh, and I knew this was coming, and it felt like, in my mind while I'm watching these games, I'm like, all right, he's about to be the one. You know what I mean? We seen it with RJ, we seen it with Red.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's about to be the guy that. And there's memes out there. You seen the argument between the couple on the
Oh yeah.
jumbotron?
Yep. I seen that.
So there's some memes going out there where they supposedly lip read it, and they talk about the girl's upset. She's like, "This is who we traded 5 round picks for. You told me he was good." You know what I mean? And then the guy is like, not trying to talk. But yeah, it's beginning. You know what I mean? The trashing
Yeah.
of the Nick player.
Right.
What do you think?
Um, it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen anyway. Somebody's gonna be a scapegoat with with Knicks fans. It's always gonna be somebody. Right now, Jalen Brunson is the favorite, so he's the golden child. He's the golden boy. He's not gonna be a scapegoat. Um, you know,
I think OG's safe until, what I mean, he got to miss some
Privacy.
time. Until
Uh,
he got to miss some time. That, you know what I
there's
mean? That,
a chance that Cat could be a scapegoat.
hmm
And Bridges could be one too.
yeah.
So
Um, did you hear Hart's comments? A lot of people going at Hart. I guess he mentioned, how he's playing, trying to find his rhythm. I
mm,
thought he was trolling, you know what I mean? But he's like, maybe I got to go to the bench, and somebody else got to step into this role. Um, but a lot of people was killing him for the comment. And why would you say that publicly? Da 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 da. But this has been a discussion, you know,
yeah,
since the preseason started, whether he should start. I wanted McBride. I think you wanted Precious,
Precious because just because of the size.
the size.
Yeah,
And you high on Dadier. You talk about he's the guy to kind of fill some roles. There's
yeah.
been
I don't know if
there's
he's
been
ready
some
to
talks.
start, but
There's been some talks about it though, like amongst Knicks
yeah,
fans.
yeah,
And
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
if here's the thing with Dadier, because I think watching him in summer league, the first thing that stood out to me honestly was defense. Like he surprised me. Knowing where to be. I think he had a couple of steals. You know what I mean? Like rookie mistakes are gonna be rookie mistakes, but where he was for a rookie, you know what I mean? I thought he was surprisingly good defensively. Obviously going into the preseason, not as glaring, you know what I mean? Or maybe glaring in the opposite, but the offense kind of popped. I
Mhm.
feel like if I was gonna make an argument for him to start, this is what I would say. he's great off the ball. He's not a guy that you're gonna give the ball to and say, "Go get us a bucket, go do this." So if he's playing with the starters, I think he's actually more valuable with next to Brunson. You know what I mean? Next to um Cat, next to these guys that are more suited to create for themselves and others than he is. You know what I mean? In the second unit, it may be more of a scramble. It
Right.
may be more of a, you know what I mean? I think, I mean, some of his best plays was, with Brunson, backdoor cut and things of that nature. I don't know who, other than Kolek, who's gonna be the guy to kind of help him get his shot in
Right.
that second unit, where he might be the secret weapon in the starting unit, in the sense that defenses are probably going to play to his strengths, because he's going to be the guy they pay the least attention to, which is going to have him thrive. You know what I mean? With the backdoor cuts, open shots that, so he could utilize that shooting and things of
Right.
that nature. So, and at his size, he fills that void too. Um, but he's a rookie. It's Tibbs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's likely, but I could see that down the line. You know what I mean? Maybe being something that we go to, that we, you know what I mean? But what's your thoughts?
I think that
And what's your thoughts of Hart's comments as well? And
yeah.
we'll get out of here.
So Dottie, I think it's only right to just let him get his feet wet. Right? Let him get his feet wet. Um, get comfortable, get confident, you know what I'm saying? And then and then let him get out there. And I know he's a 19-year-old first round pick. I dig that. I get it. Um, I don't think that always means you gotta start right from the beginning. Let the guys who've been here handle the load, you know what I mean? Shoulder the load and and then when he's ready, you see he's ready, he's produced, his confidence is high, then if you feel like it's the right move, put him out there. You know what I mean?
And
But
I mean, even if he's not starting and he's playing, in a sense, he's still being thrown into the fire, because this team has high expectations. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I will say is, I mean, I think he'll get grace, especially from Knicks fans, considering his age, considering he's a rookie. So I don't think he'll be killed, but I don't know how much patience Tibbs is gonna have with mistakes.
right,
And that goes for all of them. You know what I mean? Hakporti, Kolek, and
right.
Sadia.
And I think with Josh Hart, he's talking. He's just talking.
Trolling?
Yep. I think he's just
Yeah.
trolling. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I I thought he was trolling as well. Shout out to DJ Shuttle, all aboard. He says Daddy has great promise, but we need to rebound if a player would start over Hart. That's a good point.
What he say?
That's one.
Oh,
He's saying Hart. Hart's rebounding is a
right.
reason why. If somebody's gonna replace him, they're gonna have to produce in that area.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But yeah, let's get out of here. We're gonna go enjoy this
Support the Liberty.
Liberty's victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's get it.
It's looking like New York's year for sure, man. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, we might get a Subway City series. I'm going back and forth. Mets got to win two though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Liberty got to win one. I mean, I know the Giants ain't looking too good, but
Hey,
but
somebody got to be bad. Might as well be them.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Me and my daughter about to watch the game together and whatnot. So
enjoy,
yeah,
enjoy.
appreciate it.
Um, Shout out to the chat. No Black is Time, whole MBK fam. I'll be back tomorrow for lunchtime live with the
Yeah, I'm gonna
Queen.
be on. I'm gonna be on too. Well, Queen is going on tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she got
Queen's coming back
Queen's
tomorrow
Court
night.
at 7:30.
Yeah.
So it's full fledged.
Yep. And
And
then I'll be on Tuesday. I got basketball practice, but I'm gonna see if I can get home and do something real quick, go to practice, and then come home and catch the game. So
Well, I'm gonna catch the second half for sure, or at least the fourth quarter. This got me tight.
Yeah,
I'll still be on with you for the post game
definitely,
and the losers lounge. You know what I mean? We got to start the
no doubt,
season off right. You know
no
what I
doubt,
mean? Even if it's short, but yeah, man. Shout out to the chat. Go Black is time. Sim, appreciate you.
no doubt.
We out.
All right,
See
peace.
y'all tomorrow.